All right, Richie Norton, my brother, welcome to the Happy Hustle podcast. I am super stoked to connect.
What's up, man? I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for making this happen. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, for
So
sure.
good. So good.
Richie, you are an award-winning, best-selling author. You're just a badass entrepreneur. You're the CEO of multiple companies, one being Prouduct, which is super cool. I'm excited to dive in. You have so many accolades to your name. But what's something interesting about yourself that not too many people know?
I can't tell you.
It's that interesting.
Let's see. Here's a weird one. When I was either 16 or 17. Maybe I was 16. I don't know. I was featured, small feature in
Small feature
in 17 magazine.
Whoa!
And what it was is like I took this girl to homecoming and her heel broke, and so like I let her wear. It was raining and muddy outside. We were going from pictures to the dance or something like that. And anyways, I let her wear my shoes and I walked through the mud, and I'm wearing like as like a dorky teenager, wearing white socks. Like it was bizarre. So she writes this story. and sends a picture of me, and they put this picture of my head in the story, and they called me Sir Lancelot.
Oh, wow.
Don't make me tell that story again.
Right. Well, I want you to tell other stories.
I know.
Well, listen, man, you got so many great stories, and I really am excited to dive into this whole concept of lifestyle entrepreneurship, because I know you live in Hawaii. You know, you're living the dream, man. You got the wife, the kids, the beautiful, location. You have multiple companies, multiple revenue streams. You can work online, digitally, free, financially free. I'm sure a lot of people listening are like, how did Richie do this? And how can we create this concept of lifestyle entrepreneurship where we don't get tied into the shackles of our business and we forget what it was all for in the first place, that freedom? Talk to us a little bit about lifestyle entrepreneurship and how'd you get into this whole realm?
Okay. I love that. And I want to just kind of like let people know when they're listening to this, because I've done this and written this enough and talked to enough people that I know that when people hear these things after an amazing introduction like that, they always tell themselves, oh, I can't do it. He was able to do it because he had that. He was able to do it because he was there. And then, fair enough, it's true. And then I go, but I didn't used to always be there. I didn't used to always have that. I could tell you my terrible story of collecting cans with my wife to recycle them to have enough money to put gas in our car. And then I go, but then I had a car. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Where does it end?
Yeah.
So I just hope when people listen to these stories and these ideas on this podcast and all of your shows, they don't discount their opportunity by saying they can't because someone else has more. That's just not. It may be true, but it shouldn't stop you from doing your part, right? Like it's an important thing. So as far as lifestyle entrepreneurship, when I wrote the book, The Power of Starting Something Stupid, it did really well. It's in like 10 different languages. And people would come to me for coaching and consulting. I didn't really think of, just so side note, when I think of coaching, I think of like individuals and entrepreneurs and like one-on-one or groups and masterminds, etc. Consulting, I think of it more of like working with organizations and corporations.
Gotcha.
Just so people mix those up, I think. But anyways, what I realized were people would come to me with their so-called stupid idea, which I say is the new smart. Like the stupid thing is actually the smart thing. That's where I kind of go with it. And I talk historically how that's true and how it can be true for you and how you can make it happen. But what I realize is someone will come to me saying they want to make something. Let's just say it's, I don't know, something stupid. Let's say it's umbrellas, or it's, or it's whatever it is. Yeah. And we can make it. They can figure it out. It can be a digital product. They can sell it. They can make a ton of money. But then at the end of it, they're still not satisfied. And the reason is because they never wanted a freaking umbrella company, even though they love umbrellas or whatever it is, the digital umbrella. They wanted the freedom and the flexibility that they thought this business would create. So then when people come to me, and I've done this almost always, like I'm kind of like just trying to string you along on how the thought process, but in actuality, if someone comes and says they want to do a certain business, I go, cool, it'll work out or it won't. We got to try it. It is what it is. It is what it isn't. Let's decide. But assuming it works, then what does your life look like? Then they'll say, in psychology, it's actually called final cause. So then they'll say, it's like this, I call it the success after success. They'll say, oh, well, then I can travel with my family and go around the world and do whatever I want, whenever I want, like you, Richie, or like you, Carrie, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I'll go, oh, well, if that's your goal, why don't you just go do that? And we'll build a business around it.
Mind blown.
Why are we always like tiptoeing up to this goal instead of working from the end outcome and building outwards? I think of it like, you say you want to live in a castle, so you start building a moat. The moat is work, and most people never get out of the moat. Therefore, they never live in the castle. When in reality, you could have just built a castle, or there's a castle already existing. You just step into it. You don't need a moat at all, but if you did, you would be creating moats around it, an economic moat of how you're paid, and a strategic moat of how that keeps happening to protect the center. And you can come and go as you please. But in that way, if it would take you 10 steps to make a goal happen, now, I know we're getting theoretical here, but now the 10 steps are wiped away. You're literally just doing the one thing you wanted to do. And you go out and do it. And we can talk about practically how this looks.
Yeah.
But it's an actual opposite way of thinking, because we have grown up learning how to goal set in steps, but how often do 10 steps lead to the actual goal? Almost
rarely.
Let's just say rarely.
Yeah.
So why don't you just say, what if the 10 there's something called Six Sigma and Lean Six Sigma, and the idea is, how do you reach perfection as close as possible in your processes by also eliminating as many things, as many steps as possible. So a lot of us create steps in our mind, like, I need to have an umbrella company so I can be free, which aren't true.
Yeah.
You whether it's umbrella or something else, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's not how much you're paid, it's how you're paid that gives you freedom. You and I both know millionaires that do not have freedom of time.
Oh, yeah.
They will tell me, money's easy, time is hard. I'll talk to people 20 years older, 40 years older, say, I'm working my whole life to get back to the life I had when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
You talk to people that are in retirement, and they go, I waited for a time when I have more time, more education, more experience, and more money to do what I really wanted to do in retirement. And here I am. I don't have any time. I don't have the education. I don't have the experience. I don't have the money. Or if I do have the time, the opportunities passed. My spouse passed away. I'm unhealthy. Why not do it right now?
Yeah.
And the reason this is so important to me is because I had a son that passed away. He passed away. It was totally it was unexpected because he was totally healthy. He caught whooping cough, pertussis.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, thanks. And it was just so, it changed the way I look at life.
Yeah.
And just a few years earlier, my brother-in-law, my wife's brother, passed away in his sleep at 21 years old. Now, they were both named Gavin, so I call it Gavin's Law. And the idea is, live to start, start to live. Because if you live to start those ideas that are pressing on your mind, you really will start living. And to me, in a roundabout way to answer your question, lifestyle is very different than a lifestyle business, and is very different than a lifestyle brand. So for example, you can have a lifestyle brand on the outdoors, but that brand might not allow you to be outdoors anymore. That's a lifestyle brand. It's focused on lifestyle. You can have a lifestyle business, but that means the business allows you, if outdoors is the thing we're talking about, allows you to be outdoors more. It's a driver of freedom. But I found, probably as you, many, if not most entrepreneurs, especially lifestyle entrepreneurs, go into it to enhance their lifestyle. They start a business to enhance their lifestyle, only to find out that their lifestyle disappears into their mother frickin' business.
Yeah, true. So true.
So it's very different.
Yeah.
You can have a lifestyle business that isn't a lifestyle brand. The product doesn't matter. It's how you run the business. The third part of that then is the lifestyle. Just because you have a business that enables you to have a enhanced lifestyle of freedom and flexibility doesn't mean you actually do anything with it. So then it's a choice. Now that I do have freedom based on the systems I created, do I go outside today or not? Yep. Different things, but all three can be in one. It's a choice. The challenge is most of us entrepreneurs think we're doing one thing when we're actually doing another. A guy came to me, said he was making over $200,000 a year as an executive. He had no freedom of time. He wanted to quit, and he wanted to start a gym. And I go, cool. Who's going to open it and close it at night? He's like me. Wait a second. How old are your kids again? He's like 15 and whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. So wait, you wanted to spend how many months in Europe doing whatever you want? It's like, yeah. I'm like, I mean, how long do you say it would take to be profitable? He literally said, I think 2 or 3 years, and you'd have to start another one to make it profitable. I'm not making fun of him. He's a great guy. Totally cool. It's just our process of thinking.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a way to make a gym work. It was just that the way he was thinking of it was he had to be the owner operator. So if he's there every day, opening it and closing it, because he said, he's a micromanager, he has to do it this way. I say, well, then in 3 years, your kid's gone. They're 18. What's your point, man? You can still do the gym, but you might need to hire a manager guy to run it for you. You can be an owner, not an owner operator. There's a way to do that. And so when we think we're creating a system that gives us freedom, but it actually self-imprisons us, that's a problem. So you hear those entrepreneurs are so hard, it's so busy, I never have time. And it's like, that's your choice.
Yeah.
There's another way to do it, man.
Yeah, there is. Well, speaking of other ways to do it, how do you do it? How did you build your first profitable enterprise? What was the biggest learning lessons that you can extract from that experience to distill for the happy hustlers listening?
Well, it's a good question, and I'll try and explain it this way. I lived in Brazil, for 2 years.
Oh, me too.
Oh, you did?
Part? Yeah.
E aí, beleza pura.
E aí, muito prazer.
Eu morei em Fortaleza.
Oh, moro em Rio, 3 meses.
Oh, Rio, legal. Okay. Everyone's like, what's going on?
This guy's white? Or?
I know, right? What's happening right now? But when I was in Brazil, I was in an area. Brazil is a wonderful place. Love it so much. Lots of wealth there. Where I was in the favelas, like tons of poverty.
Ooh, surf town too, right?
Totally. And I was there as a missionary, so I didn't get to do that, but I was it was a magical time, changed my life. And I saw these amazing, wonderful, cool people with all these talents in real poverty, like not necessarily the poverty we normally see in the States, although it happens in the States too. But I was seeing like people living in houses made out of dirt and made out of like lean-tos, like not, and they weren't considered homeless. Like this was home, Anyways, so when I saw it, I thought they have incredible talents, amazing things. Sure, the economy is, but what they're lacking maybe is, I don't know, connections, resources,
education.
There's just all these things that aren't in place. And I thought, how can I help people work their way out of poverty? This is my thought process.
Yeah.
And I thought, the first thought was the kind of the retirement mentality of an American was, I guess I'll get rich, and then when I retire and I'm 65, I can go do that work. And then I thought, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm in my 20s, so I'm like, you're going to wait, 40 years, 45 years?
Yeah, to help them.
We're talking 2 or 3 generations passing through life, in that time period. And then I had a mentor teach me, ask a better question, get a better answer. I learned that later in life. But at the time, my question to myself was, how can I help people work their way out of poverty and make money at the same time? How can I help other people work their way out of poverty and feed my own family? And I read the book, Banker to the Poor by Muhammad Yunus, learned about microfinance, changed my life, changed the way I thought about money and helping and self-reliance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I became a social entrepreneur. So while I was still in college, I had this idea to start a center for entrepreneurship at my college, which didn't exist at the time, BYU Hawaii. So I proposed it, pitched it, and they all said, no, you don't know what you're doing. There's no money and it's a bad idea. And I'm like, I'm going to do it anyways. So I got like, I found family and I found other donors over time, but I went and started. I literally flew 2004 to Mongolia.
Oh, wow.
No McDonald's there at the time, and
Yeah.
literal, like, still nomads doing their nomadic thing.
My cousins live there.
Are you serious? Well, we need to
Yeah.
talk more about this. We need to go.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing. And I started a cashmere company with some alumni that, husband and wife, as a way to help them, because they wanted to help people become self-reliant through self-employment. Started a social enterprise. So when you ask, like, how did you do this? It all for me was, how do I help others? And that's when I learned the term, more or less around that time, social entrepreneurship, that you can literally do well and do good, right? That you can solve triple bottom line. You can solve social ills with business skills. And that got me into international business, manufacturing, packaging, shipping, with the whole 9 yards. And then eventually got into all kinds of weird businesses. But the thought process was always, don't wait till you're retired. If you think that's what you want to do in the future, do it now. And the business model came as I looked for ways to help others. It wasn't specific. It was specific and the outcome that I wanted. The how came as I basically found mentors. And it wasn't like, I need to find a mentor to have me do this. It was like, I put a stake in the ground. I'm going to do this thing. And guess what happens? The mentors come out of the woodwork.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's so true. And I love that story and how you are a social entrepreneur. I consider myself a social entrepreneur. My brother is a massive social entrepreneur who has these grand ideas of changing the world through the triple bottom line, people, planet, and profits, where you can do good for the planet and also yourself. And it all comes with just solving people's problems. And that's, what Richie did. He said, you know what, I see a problem with poverty in Brazil. How can I create a better life for them through self-employment, not necessarily giving out fish, but teaching them rather how to fish, right?
That's right. And then I learned how to make money twice. Because once you learn how to help other people fish, and you are yourself fishing and, and making your money, getting your bread, doing your thing, you're eating, well, then you have your businesses. And not everyone does this, I get it, but I think it's important. You have your own businesses, and then why not share that wisdom with others? And sure, you can do that for free. And also there are times where you can package it up in a course or a mastermind or a book and sell it. And then this becomes a virtuous upward spiral of helping people, earning income, and helping people. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. I mean, talk to us about that get money twice. I've heard you say it so elegantly, and I don't want to butcher it. Your definition, how you.
I think I stole it from the rap culture. I think they say that somewhere, but let's put it this way: whether you're an entrepreneur or you're an employee or an executive, like wherever you're at, you make your money doing what you're doing. You're making money once. But if you can then teach people how to make money, how you make money twice.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. I have so many. It's bizarre. Like I have an MBA. I didn't do it to climb a corporate ladder because I'm not a corporate person, but I did it except for the love of education. I didn't do it thinking I'd be a better entrepreneur because I know it's not about entrepreneurship at the MBA level. Sometimes, I guess it depends on where, and you might have a class here or there. But I did it because I just wanted to learn and wanted to see what it was like. And I learned all kinds of things. And here's also what I learned. I learned that a lot of people want to make a difference, but they're trapped and they don't feel like they can because they still don't feel like they have enough time, education, experience, or money, even if they do. All of a sudden, I have, after I wrote the book, clients who are doctors, lawyers, psychiatrists, psychologists, no joke, full-on PhDs, amazing people, love them so much, killing it. But they have a hard time because they feel like they're trapped. Being paid by the hour. They can't do anything that they love their work, but their personal life is expensed, so to speak.
Yeah, they sacrifice
for the profitability of the company and at the sacrifice or at the blessing of helping others.
Yeah.
So they come to me and say, how can I do what I'm doing now, but have a life? So we talk about that, and I teach them and I show them their business model or their approach changes. Then this is the magic that happens. Then someone comes to them and says, let's say it's a psychologist, a peer psychologist will say, "What are you doing? How'd you do that?"
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, the psychologist is making money with their clients, and now they become a coach to their peers. I did this with a dentist. He's like fixing people's teeth. He's stuck to his own state in the corner, and there's a dentist on every corner. Literally, not in Hawaii, I'll tell you that. But in a lot of states, there's a dentist on every corner. It's just maybe more than a McDonald's. Okay, how do you get out of that? He went online, and he has people flying in from all over the country to come to his place because they found him online. They see him as the expert when they could have went next door. But why would you? They trust this guy.
Yeah.
And he has them do the whole, first thing virtually. He sends them the stuff. They send it back. Well, then guess what? After he does that, guess what his new business is? Teaching dentists how to do that.
Yeah.
So you make money doing what you do, and you make money to teach what you do. In addition to free mentoring, of course. 99% of my stuff is free.
Yep. Yeah, you do give a ton of great content away at richienorton.com. Highly recommend. All the happy hustlers, check that out. And you mentioned something briefly, which I want to extract a little further. You talked about how the dentist became a celebrity. He positioned himself online properly where he's getting media and attention and thus becoming the expert. And I know you've been featured in Forbes and Business Week and Entrepreneur and HuffPost and all sorts of major media outlets. First, talk to us about how you get that mainstream media attention, and then how you can position yourself, people listening, how we can position ourselves as the experts in our particular niche.
Great question. The temptation will be to hire a PR firm, and it would probably, unfortunately, it probably won't work out the way you want it to. And it's not that they don't work; it's just that there's a mismatch in your goal, because your goal is to make sales, probably, and their goal is just awareness. There's awareness channels and there's sales channels, and people mix those up all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, once you find that you get on Forbes or Inc. or wherever you get, you also realize all of a sudden that it didn't actually change your life, maybe even at all. If you get lucky and you're on Oprah's book list or something like that, sure, maybe something like that will happen. But the real key is whatever media, we can talk about how to get it, but whatever media you do get, you are the one responsible for sharing that. Even though you don't believe this, but you should believe it now, you're the one responsible for sharing that with your audience, with new audience, to create credibility markers and to build trust with your niche. And it's really funny because when we talk about selling in markets, a lot of times we're thinking big, like hundreds of people, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands, millions of people need to listen to this. No, it just takes one person to hear it who buys it. Yeah. And if you can sell one, you can sell 10. If you can sell 10, you can sell 100. That's the way it works. So you want to think of it as like the individual. So if you were to think, if you're trying to get certain types of clients or even corporate clients, you would then, instead of fishing, just throwing your hook out there and seeing what bites, which we're always doing anyways with the way we post, you can actually go hunting. And you can, I actually use this in a book I write called Résumés Are Dead and What to Do About It. It's free, I think, on Amazon right now. And there's an audio too. But anyways, I talk about these two ideas, fishing versus hunting. And I say, or you can know what you want. You can know where the target lives and what they do and how they behave. And you can go after that thing in a way that is not just transactional, but that is, meaning you scratch my back, I scratch yours, but transformational, where you actually approach them with value to them first. Right. And I call it mission matching, where you're saying, hey, I want to do this thing. And then you see what they're trying to do. So the approach, and it's not a hidden agenda, it's very straightforward. The approach is, hey, I'm trying to do this thing. And I see that you're trying to do that thing. I think I can help you do that thing. Would that be interesting? Or you just help them. This is a very natural, normal way of networking and building your way into media or into partnerships or into sales, as opposed to being so selfish and saying, it's the end of the month, I need money. Please share this. Everybody buy this right now. It's an extremely selfish way of marketing.
So true. I love
Yeah.
that distinction between fishing and hunting, and just having the clarity and the vision of exactly what you want. And I talk about this on the Happy Hustle podcast. And as well, I wrote a book called The Happy Hustle coming out later this year. And I talk about it. Well, congratulate me when it's out. But
it's work, man. It's work. I know.
They kicked my ass.
It's too much work. I know. It's like hurts your head.
But the point is, I talk about reverse engineering the process of, your goals, and getting crystal clear first and foremost of what you actually want. Like if you do want mainstream media, okay, which media outlets are actually going to move the needle in your business? What is actually going to help convert that traffic into sales, right? I mean, having a great website is, just a standard now these days, but having a funnel that actually converts is where you actually make money.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, there's a lot of pay to play, which I don't recommend. But if you're looking for organic, like Forbes articles or this or that, like you need to have something to say. Like you need to have a voice, and that voice needs to be heard with a profound message.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like whatever that is not, I mean, I'm going to oversimplify, but whatever that is, there is somebody already writing on that topic at one of these places. You can reach out to them, or over time they reach out to you. Or why don't I give everybody a little secret trick that actually works really, really well?
Do it.
Just do like your current social media followers. You may or may not think of them as buyers, but you should think of them as evangelists for you if they like your stuff. Okay. And so what you do is you throw out there a Google survey and have people apply to maybe be a part of your next big project as far as promoting. And maybe I call it a small army strategy. So like maybe you get 100 people to apply to share your upcoming book. And in exchange, you're going to give them an advanced copy, and you're going to share some background. So now let's think about it theoretically. If you have 100 people in a Facebook group who have agreed, and you're not dangling a carrot or a stick, you're telling them to be honest with their reviews. You're just saying this is an opportunity, right, to be a part of your team. But if you have 100 people in a group, instead of you sharing the link, my book's out on your social media, and however many see it, you can now do that. But you can also post it in this group, and 100 people share it. And if they have 1,000-person reach, you organically, instantly, more or less, reach 100,000 people. It took one maneuver to get asymmetrical results, going from 1,000 people reached by yourself to 100,000-person reach with the same effort. That's dramatic, and that's real. And that's what I do, because then it looks like for that 2-week period that you launch your book, you want to look like Taylor Swift, man.
Yeah, true.
Like when she launches, she's everywhere, every media channel, every magazine, everywhere. And then you know what's interesting is the song's good, it's great, it does well, and then it lives on its own. It kind of goes away, and it's the next person's turn, whatever the label's pushing. So the next person's turn. This is the way it works in big media. Why don't we do it ourselves in our own small niches? You should be everywhere to the 1,000 people that are going to first buy your book. And then once you figure out how to do it organically, it makes it way easier to throw gas on the fire with ads, because now you can create custom audiences of people that actually want to know your stuff and will share your stuff. It's very simple, yet hardly anyone decides to do it. I don't know why. Anyway.
Well, it's true. And oftentimes we overcomplicate things as entrepreneurs.
100%.
And we just really need to get back to the KISS model, right? Keep it simple, stupid, and just get her done, and think through how you can actually reach the most amount of people. But start small. Start with your, 1,000 true fans, or 100 true fans, or
that's exactly right. Yeah, everyone should read. Was it Kevin Kelly's 1,000 True Fans?
Yeah,
Google that. That's perfect example. And for those listening to that, I mean, let's do the numbers again. This is Kevin Kelly's idea, but I mean, like the idea of if you can sell 1,000 people $100 product, even over the course of a year, you make $100,000, and the average American makes what, $56,000 a year. You could double your money. You could sell that much in a week or a year. Just a matter of what season of life you're in, and you respect that season and you work towards, whatever's next.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, speaking of physical products and like actually creating books, I know you have this amazing company called Prouduct with a D in between. Very catchy.
Thank you.
Product proud of.
That's right.
Talk to us about that business and how entrepreneurs listening who maybe have an idea and are like, man, I don't know how to build this fill in the blank journal, selfie stick, umbrella, whatever it may be. How do I build this? And they reach out to someone like you, Richie, and this amazing company, Prouduct. Talk to us a little bit about that process and what was your inspiration behind starting it?
Okay. So like we made this for Pat Flynn. For those that you can see on the video, this is the Switch Pod, and it just it's a fancy selfie stick.
Boom.
And it opens and closes instantly, like in your hand, like that. So it's for better vlogging. Peter McKinnon blew that up when he shared that on YouTube as a review. We made John Lee Dumas's what's it called? The Freedom Journal. The Mastery Journal, the Podcast Journal.
I got all of them. Super fan.
We make the MP3 player for Russell Brunson that he gives out. We make
a friend of mine. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
I love him with all my heart. He's amazing.
He's a great
dude. So real, so good. We make more yoga pants than I want to admit.
You make yoga pants?
Yeah, bro. We can make yoga mats. We make tons of athleisure stuff. We make tiny homes. We make container homes. What? The thing is, for us, you're like, well, how do you do all that? And I don't think about it that way. I think we just make what people want. We make one thing, what you want. So besides being weirded out by how many weird things we make, I realized that when people went into making physical products, and I had a background in that and knowing that lifestyle and family and time is the essence to me of entrepreneurship, and that entrepreneurship normally takes that away from entrepreneurs, sadly and unintentionally. I said, you know what if there's a way that we could just do this for people, maybe faster, better, cheaper than they could on their own, because of our relationships, because of our work, and because we like it, we want to do it, etc., etc. So we do all the heavy lifting. You have an idea, we'll help you prototype. We also call it an idea type, even before the prototype stage. We do, the manufacturing, packaging, the tagging, the labels, the shipping, the customs, the warehousing, the fulfillment. We can set up the entire thing. So if there's like 100 steps to like do something in business, we can, if you want us to, do 99 of those steps so that you can focus on the one, which I think would be selling and branding and getting it out there. The reason we've done that is a lot of our clients and even my consulting and coaching clients that have nothing to do with physical products are really famous, as you heard, podcasters and also YouTubers. And I started realizing that a lot of their income was actually at risk with like adpocalypse and with all kinds of other things. And I also saw that their time was being taken away with editing. I have a side note. I have an editing business where I have an editor in the Eastern Europe editing for YouTubers overnight. For me, it's all about setting up a process that gives people their time back and then doing it again. And I usually set it up for myself first, just like I was talking about, make money twice.
Yep.
And then if it works, then I turn it into a business. Either an actual business where we do it for you, done for you, or, teaching, or both, or all three, whatever, who cares? But if basically at the end of the day, if someone has an idea to make a physical product, they don't have to know how to make a physical product anymore if they come to Prouduct. We do everything for them, more or less. They just have to know how to sell. And we can help with strategy with that, but it's up to them to make the money, So that's kind of what we do. And it's extremely complicated, as you know. It's very detail oriented. It's a lot of work, but that's the niche because no one's doing that. So here we are. We don't charge anything. So we say it's better than free. We make money on the product as it's being made with the small margin that you agreed to. We say, here's the price. Everything else is good. Do you like it? Yeah. And they're like, yeah, it's way cheaper than I could have gone on my own on frickin' Alibaba where they screw me over every time. That's great. Thanks, Richie. And I go, yeah, let's go. That's how it works.
That's great. And people can go to Prouduct.com to learn more, to reach out.
Go there, see some examples, fill out a form to apply to work with us. And if you're in a position to be, let's just be honest, like physical products cost money. So you either have to have money or raise it. So, we gotta work through that. But yeah, we'll make whatever, man.
That's awesome, bro. I love that company and just the idea behind it, and especially how there's such high barriers to entry that there's very little competition. So I love that you crushed that niche. Now, for the happy hustlers, I usually like to distill some tangible take homes. Like I call them happy hustle hacks. And I just usually try to extract them from my guests in a couple different subjects. First being money. Do you have a happy hustle hack that you can bestow upon the happy hustlers?
So many happy hustlers, so many. One, I'll reiterate, change how you're paid, change your life. How you're paid, not how much. I know you want more, but even with more, you will still be shackled by golden handcuffs. How you're paid is essential to your lifestyle, not how much. Okay. Number two, it's way easier, and I would guess maybe better is not the right word, but for a lifestyle entrepreneur, maybe it would be better to sell one thing to one person for $1,000 than one thing to 10 people for $100. You get 10 times the headaches. And you might think, I want to help more people. And I say, well, then sell 10 people at $1,000. Oh, and by the way, when you sell something to $1,000 to one person, you actually have the freedom and flexibility to help the 9 or 10 that couldn't afford it. Suddenly, magically, when people jump into social entrepreneurship and into nonprofits, they experience it. No one talks about it, but they experience something called mission creep or mission drift, where all of a sudden the people they're trying to help are not helped as much because they have to start raising money. So they focus more on fundraising than they do on helping the people. Unbelievable. Get the business model right.
That's so true, man. And I love that how you're paid is more important than, what you're paid essentially, or how much.
Absolutely.
That's a great point. And really, selling high ticket versus low ticket, higher, ticket at a low velocity still equates to more money and time freedom. So love that. Let's talk about entrepreneurship and just distill it into your top maybe 2 happy hustle hacks in terms of you're here, what could you share with the happy hustlers that really may help them?
Okay. As far as entrepreneurship is concerned, everyone gets freaked out. Like, oh my gosh, it's going to cost so much money, so much time. And then I would just say to yourself, well, what if it didn't cost so much money and so much time? It changes the way you approach the business. Your strategic intent is critical. Ask better questions, get better answers. So quick, for example, the answer is sell one. Instead of thinking I have to raise all this money and do all these things, the answer is sell one. See it all the way through. Sell one. And if you like it, keep doing it. If you don't like it, stop. If it doesn't make money, we'll look at the business model. If it does, move forward. And then you say, but it's going to cost me all this money to sell one. Well, sell one pre-sold. Get a letter of intent from somebody if it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So for example, I had a guy told me he inherited $1 million from his uncle, and he wanted to start a Mexican chocolate company. No joke. Cool dude. Meaning it's like chocolate bars that are hot, spicy.
Oh. All right.
And I'm like, sweet. And he's like, what are you going to do? Well, I need a building and I need people. And I'm starting to think FDA compliance. I'm starting to think like all the things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why don't you just Google private label chocolate really quick? And all of a sudden I just saved him. It cost him $5,000 to get the company going. I had him making chocolate and going to the stores and asking for the buyers. The buyer's not there. Get his name, come back later.
Yep.
He's pre-selling them. He's making the chocolate. He's making them packaged right according to what they want. I literally saved him $995,000.
Oh, geez. Yeah, but by asking better questions.
So, and sure, if you want buildings and people, you can do that later. But why would you do that? And if you're going to double down and say it's a lifestyle business, why would you do that? Yeah, right?
Sure. So, such a good point, man. Let's talk about spirituality. Do you have a happy hustle hack for spirituality?
I do. And I'm going to dovetail between your last question and this question. And I'm going to say, first of all, START, which to me is a spiritual thing that I call, it's an acronym, which is serve, think, ask, receive, and trust. START. Serve, think, ask, receive, and trust. If you don't know where to start with serving others. So yeah, like spiritually, like I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. You know, I believe in Jesus Christ. I know not everyone does. And so whatever your thing is, whether you believe in God or not, I would say whatever, like there is something inside of all of us. I personally believe that we can feel, we can know if it's right or wrong, good or true. And I think when we don't follow it, it doesn't bring us to the thing we could have done. And when we do follow it, it does. Even, I'm going to bring it back to my book, The Power of Starting Something Stupid.
Yeah.
Even when you think it's stupid, like isn't the spirit or like the thoughts or maybe the intuition or the inspiration, the revelations, aren't they normally something that we're scared of? Or that's stupid. I can't do that. Why would I do that? Yeah. And I'm saying lean into that.
Yeah.
You know, everything Stephen Covey's a mentor of mine. He would teach everything begins. You love Covey? Okay, cool. Yeah. Stephen M. R. Covey wrote the foreword to my book. Love them. So, you know, everything's created first spiritually or mentally, and then it's created physically. This is not even something we can even debate. It doesn't even matter what religion you are. You know it starts in your head, and then you know you have to do it. So it's like if you can make those things come together, you make magic, man.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's a great yeah. Couple more. I want to respect your time. Talk about health. Happy hustle hack to stay, you know, optimal in terms of mind, body, and spirit. I think health is essential. Do you have any happy hustle hacks for health?
Oh, 100%. I definitely do improve my health, you know, always trying. But one of the cool things about living in Hawaii and living like next to the beach, honestly, is I'm on the beach all day, every day, walking my dog, going surfing. All my calls and all my work is basically from my cell phone. So I would just say, like, honestly, get in the water, even if that's your like a shower. Like, no joke. You know, we all know we have inspiration when we're around water or when it's hitting us in the head, right? This just happens. And then I'd also say get out and walk a lot. Now, I know there can be some intense trainings and intense ways of eating, but I'm definitely not an expert on that. But I would say if you feel like you need to be healthier, why not take the time to try and figure out a way to do it and find out those mentors who do know how to help you do that, do it properly. Because if you spend 10 years walking in circles and it doesn't change your health, there's probably a better way of doing it. So learn and apply.
That's so true. Love that. And I love the water as well. I actually go to the Bozeman hot springs here all the time. I got a membership.
Awesome.
Hot springs, just being in natural bodies of water. It's so
there's something about it.
Oh yeah. Well, we're connected to Mother Earth, and it's fantastic. So highly recommend that. And being up near the beach and just grounding yourself. Love that. I ask all my guests this. What was your first hustle, Richie? First thing you did for money?
I was 16 years old, and I told my dad I wanted to get a job, and he said, he's an entrepreneur. He says, "You don't want a job." I'm like, "Dad, it's like the worst thing a dad can say." Kids are supposed to get jobs. He goes, "You don't want a job." So I'm from San Diego, and he's all go to El Centro. This is no joke. Go to El Centro where there's lots of farming, and ask the watermelon farmers if you can buy their irregular sized watermelons. This is no joke. So we took out in our family van, we took out the seats. Me and my 14-year-old brother at the time drove down to El Centro. We asked, and the irregular sized watermelons are the ones they can't sell to the grocery stores because they look weird, but they're bigger and juicier, maybe even better, right?
Oh, wow.
So we fill up the van full of these things, and the van's like low riding, like hitting every bump, and come back to my town, which is like, I don't know, 3 hours away from there. Called all my friends' moms and dads. It's like the 4th of July, and I'm like, I have these watermelons. They're like weird looking, but but they're cheaper than the ones at the grocery store. And you know, I think just when you want one, I sold out of the watermelons. My brother and I, we split the money. My dad gave us some seed money, so to speak, right? Watermelon seed money. And I learned how to not trade my time for money. I would have spent the entire summer working minimum wage and made less than 1 day of selling watermelons. That changed my life. Good dad. Awesome. Turned out to be a good dad moment.
Great dad moment. I love that. Richie, let's run through the rapid fire round real quick where you just answer honestly the first thing that comes to mind. Are you cool with that?
I'm really scared, but I'll try.
You'll crush it. Favorite movie? Go.
Oh, right now it's got to be Eurovision. Have you watched Eurovision? It is unbelievable. And then next to that would be Napoleon Dynamite.
All right. Favorite food?
Oh, bean and cheese burrito from Southern California.
Oh, right on. Favorite book?
Oh, Muhammad Yunus, Banker to the Poor.
Yeah. What is your spirit animal?
I'm just going to say a dolphin. Just jumping around.
Yeah.
Wild. Wild and free.
And they're smart too.
That's right.
Best business advice?
Just Nike, man. Just do it.
Love it. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
The first thing is fly.
Yep. One word you wish to be synonymous with your name for the rest of your life?
Well, right now it's stupid. You Google stupid Richie and I'm everywhere, and I don't mind that. But I think I would. My new thing that I've been talking about a ton about on Medium and everywhere is the word discernment. I would love that is something I'm going to double down on because I think it's an important skill people can learn that no one's like applying to business, entrepreneurship, and lifestyle.
Can you define discernment?
Yeah. Well, I define it in a million different ways on this. I wrote a 15-minute long article on it on Medium like yesterday.
The rapid fire round.
But no, I'm going to use it more as an analogy.
Okay.
When you watch the news and they tell you a story, they may know the full truth, but they're usually sharing a flat truth. They're showing one side of it. So you got to turn it around and see the other side. So discernment is actually bigger than that. It's like a multidimensional ball. So instead of just seeing the spoon-fed pinpoint part of the truth they're sharing, discernment is literally the first step of discernment is understanding that there's more to the whole truth. And then if it's something that's important to you, taking the time to learn and search it out. And where there isn't data yet, as a leader, you have to live in yet leadership. So discernment is living in yet and making better decisions based upon better information.
Love it. 3 things you're most grateful for?
Just my wife, my kids, my family. Maybe that's one. Living in Hawaii and just the opportunity to be alive and do these things, even when it's hard and even when it's horrible. What a blessing it is to be alive right now. I don't think anything in history, even though it's romanticized, is as good as what we're able to experience where we can here and now.
Yeah, man. Love that. Richie Norton, you crushed that rapid fire round. I just want to acknowledge you for sharing your love, your light, your wisdom with the Happy Hustlers and with the world.
You're the man, homie. That was a lot of fun. I love you, bro.
Yeah, much love, man. It's for real. This has been great. Guys, you got to go check out richienorton.com. Pick up his books. Go to Prouduct. If you have anything on your mind that you think you want to build, reach out to Richie. Have him save you time, money, and resources and have Prouduct part of that journey. So,
thank you.
Any final thoughts before I ask you the last?
Yeah. My son lived, the one that passed away. He was a baby. He was about 3 months old. He lived for 76 days. And I created a guide called the 76-Day Challenge. Tens of thousands of people have taken it. And sorry, my phone's ringing right there at the end. At richienorton.com, 76-day, richienorton.com/76-day challenge. I walk you hand in hand, so to speak, on how to take your stupid idea and turn it into your smart reality. It's totally free. You should check that out.
richienorton.com/76-day challenge, correct?
You got it.
Oh, love that. You guys got to check that out. Richie, final question, man. What does happy hustling mean to you?
Oh, bro, you are the happy hustle, man. It means you.
I think it's you, man.
I love it. No, but I think actually those two words together are really good because most people are hustling and not happy about it, and people push them to hustle more, and it pushes them into either like real depression, which all depression is real, but some of it is like environmental and what you're doing, and some of it's genetic, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, my family experiences that. I experienced that. I think putting happiness at the center of your hustle is the key to your hustle, because if you're hustling to get happy, it doesn't work.
Love it. Richie Norton, everyone. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you.